Okay, everybody ready to go?
Yep.
Yep.
Cool. So as I said, Raj, yeah, won't be able to make it after all, but we'll just sort of carry on without him. I think we can probably safely assume that maybe Krosek needed some time out after all the stuff that's happened. So he can be off meditating or something, just generally be around.
Self-medicating.
So, just put us back to where we were at the end of last term.
Bollocks, I accidentally closed down.
That's alright, just give you a sec to open it back up, but I'll move everyone back in. Obviously the battle's over, but it's a good reference point just to see where we all are. Right, so just to sum up what happened last time, you guys finally caught up with Calavera and his devil dogs, and after a pretty lengthy fight and a lot of setting fire to things and blowing things up and almost crashing the airship.
It was a close one.
It was a bit close. You have managed to defeat Calavera and the Devil Dogs and captured the airship for yourselves. Calavera, Garrick, in heroic fashion, managed to shoot and knock off the airship, so he cratered to the ground. His bones did then start to mend together, and it became apparent he has had some sort of device where his heart would have been, which basically reanimates him every time he dies. However, Black Wolf, being rather versed in death magic herself, was able to overload the device and break it so that he won't keep coming back from the dead. Which means he's fairly well taken care of. The rest of the crew, a couple of them died, but you've got a few of them kind of in your custody. You've got this Silas character, you've got this guy Brunt, you've got the Fey Druid Nettle, you've got one of the Iron Bulls, those guys in sort of large mechanical armor who still survived, and then you've got these four guys on the deck of the airship, which is like the gnomish crew who were previously down below manning the cannons and keeping the engines running and that sort of thing. So those guys are all pretty much they've surrendered to you. They're in your custody. They're not a problem anymore. You did have a little bit of a time to have a look around at the end of the last session, but just to recap, you found that this rather obviously found this chest which had fallen from the airship when it was tilting at dangerous angles and people were running around. The chest contained an awful lot of money, presumably to fund the Devil Dogs operation. So that had 120 silver dollars in it, in a big pile, which I'm not sure if you guys decided what you're actually doing with. You also found various bits and pieces within the airship. There is a kind of a smith's workshop and armory on board the airship, where Twig found some blueprints, which I think she took blueprints both for the design for the Iron Bull armor.
Yeah.
But you also found sketches of this rather terrifyingly large creation that you've heard referred to before called Big Bertha. And from looking at the plans, you realise that the scale of this thing is absolutely huge. It's the size of a small town. And that it seems to be some sort of large mobile mining platform that's sort of independent and self-powered. So you took those. What else did we find? Oh yes, as I said, there was also in the workshop and the armory, there was an awful lot of ammunition. So, which I'm not sure you guys got a chance to raid, but essentially there was an awful lot of various kinds of ammunition So your standard bullets, shotgun shells, and basically bullets and shotgun shells you can pretty much grab as much as you can carry. Like there's tons of it in there, so you can help yourselves to say a maximum of 5 kind of packs each. Like a pack of bullets is 20 bullets, and a pack of shotgun shells I think is 5. So you guys can help yourself to large amounts of ammunition. That's fine. There's also 20 man-stopper bullets in a special case in there, so you can divide those up as you wish.
Say man stopper.
Yeah.
In what do they do? Why are they different?
They
Oh, Garrett can tell you.
they actually lowered the cost of knockdown stun by 1 stun point.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what you found. There was also Kurosek broke into Calavera's kind of office quarters on the airship and found various papers in there. They pretty much detailed what, like, kind of mostly stuff you knew, like what the Devil Dogs have been up to over the last few months, which kind of detailed your guys' interaction with them. But it also mentioned this Sorok blade that Calavera had been using as a bargaining chip to manipulate a bunch of Blood Tracker cultists. So that was sort of an interesting point. And he also mentioned the Big Bertha project and how it was soon to get underway as soon as they'd made their deal or finished their deal with the Blue and Clicknid. Reinhold were basically ready to begin deploying this Big Bertha mining platform. And I believe that was pretty much where we were at the end of last session, because we had to cut it off quite quickly. So is it the Gnomish crew and the surviving Devil Dogs are pretty much beat. They're worn out. You have no problem just kind of rounding those surviving ones up and keeping an eye on them. I'll just stick them together in a little pile for now.
A quick question.
Yeah.
Did Black Wolf get a scabbard for a knife from the cultists?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
By any luck, it could be its counterpiece, like the knife that goes in the scabbard. The one Calavera had.
Does he have it on him?
No idea.
I'm asking Wolfie. I'm searching for
Well,
just
since you are standing next to him, perhaps with just a little bit of digging around in the dirt where Calavera's like smashed bones have been scattered around, you kind of dig through his coat and his belongings, and yeah, you find this kind of a dagger is probably too subtle a word for it. It's a very large bone knife, almost the size of a small short sword, and it's got very jagged edges to it, with a sort of basically lots of sort of spikes to make a pommel for the handle. And when you pick it up, you instantly get a kind of an aura of death and despair from it that very strongly mirrors the scabbard that you had retrieved from the Blood Tracker cultists. Well, or from that tomb that they were trying to open. So yeah, you basically you get the two pieces, and they holding one in each hand, they feel connected. They feel of the same. They were born out of the same tragedy.
Sweet. Can Theo look for anything else that has magical auras or something?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, do you want to roll to use your I always forget the name of it. The power detecty spell that you have.
Arcane awareness.
That's the one. Yeah.
It is a great success.
It is, and you get some spell stunts, which
I'll make it cheaper.
you can make it cheaper. Yeah.
Great success.
Okay, so from generally searching around whilst casting your arcane awareness spell, um, basically you find yourself drawn to one particular cabin that's inside the airship. I'm going to assume that if you can get up on the airship, they can probably
Yeah.
put some rope ladders down,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
I'll try to work out the controls and land it.
Okay, sure. Well, I'll just do Theo's thing, and then we'll worry about how to sort out the airship. So yeah, you go rummaging. You find yourself drawn to this one particular cabin, and you kick the door in. You go rummaging around trying to find this kind of it's like a glowing, buzzing kind of something. Something magical is in there, like just slightly magical. And rooting around in this cabin, you guess it probably belonged to the Saurian warrior that you killed, the guy called Coatl, because there's lots of kind of Saurian paintings and iconography and relics and stuff in the cabin. And mounted on the wall in a case is a pistol. And it's a kind of pistol quite rare because it's made by Saurians who don't tend to use firearms. It's called a Saurian Feathershot pistol. It's basically a very lightweight pistol with a sort of a long, thin barrel. It's basically quite a very accurate pistol, and it's decorated with a jade-coloured feather and a red feather that are kind of attached to the handle, and the pistol just kind of has a bit of a magical aura about it that suggests to you that it's maybe been blessed with some kind of ritual, or it has some sort of innate magical charm that's been placed on it.
I am intrigued. I'll check it out and try to determine the magics in it.
Okay, cool. Let me just send you over, because I think I put this in the rulebook, but I'm not sure if it's of the version that the most recent version that you've had. Oh, where's it gone? Oh, I know. Hang on. Basically, it is not especially more powerful than a regular pistol, but it's more accurate. So if I can just sorry, I've lost my my copy of it. Oh yeah, here we go. Sorry about that. Right. I will. I would if it would actually copy. Okay, I'm just gonna have to send that to you in a minute. I don't know why I can't copy and paste into Discord for some weird reason.
Okie doke.
You were talking about trying to land the airship?
Yeah. I'll first look for a suitable landing site, like right here would probably be good. It's full of all kinds of stuff.
It is a bit of a war zone, that's true. Well, in terms of, I mean, the immediate area, obviously you've got a reasonable advantage from being at least a little higher above the ground. I mean, the general area around you, you've got the canyon below, which does stretch on for sort of quite a way to the north and south of you. So you could potentially carry on down the canyon to somewhere where all this hive and war zone stuff isn't there. Or if you moved out of the canyon, that it's fairly flat terrain for as far as the eye can see. It's sort of mostly just rolling plains land, a couple of hills, but nothing too big. Like, you know, it's flat, easy land.
Yeah, I think I'll go up there.
Okay. Do you want to take a? Let's say so. You're at the helm already. I would say if you want to make a dexterity, what would it be? I think I'm not sure there's a focus that's necessarily
Yeah.
exactly designed. So if you want to take just a dexterity check to sort of try and operate the controls properly. But they're fairly intuitive. It's pretty much you steer in the direction you want to go, push a lever to make stuff go forward. So
Mm.
we'll say it's a challenging test, but just dexterity. Okay, yeah, okay, you get the handle of it fairly quickly. So you pull on a lever that basically directs the arc forged engines at the back to point downwards, and that gives you some lift. And you take hold of the wheel and start to turn it. Manage to steer the whole airship around in kind of a nice slow arc, and as it raises out of the canyon, you take it a short distance, like maybe several hundred meters just away from the canyon to the west, and you find a sort of a gentle area. Maybe there's a dried out riverbed that you can kind of just lower the ship down into, and yeah, just you gently bring it down,
Just
and
get
then
that real quick.
okay, yeah, you bring it down in the dried out riverbed, and basically turn off the engines for now, so it
Yeah.
rests quite happily.
Now then, let's round up all the all our prisoners and loot.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's work out how we how you're going to divide stuff up.
Yeah. Did anyone need those bullets? Was there anything else that the man stoppers and regular bullets?
There was as much regular bullets as you want, and there was 20 man-stopper rounds. That's what their armory was kitted out with.
I got man-stopper rounds of my own, so I don't need them.
Yeah, same. And I don't think anyone else uses guns than us.
They do at least have a resale value, so you
Yeah.
might want to take them just for that.
True. Yeah.
We can divide the man-stoppers between us if I...
Yeah, sure.
I got 20 myself.
I got 30. So.
Ah, okay, you guys are really kitted out.
Yep. Now I got 40. Did you figure out the magics in the pistol?
Yep.
Is it accurate?
Yeah, hang on, I'm just, I think I can copy it now.
Does Twig use pistols?
I don't think so.
With them very much, because mostly seems to use Dexys, but she might be interested in it.
Yeah, and it's actually quite decently powerful as well.
Yeah. Pretty good pistol.
Mm-hmm. I can take it.
No, you're welcome. I don't think Tolly would begrudge you that.
Yeah, I got rifles, so.
So there's that, and there's the money to split up. Black Wolf's presumably taking the Zorok blade, so that's not
Yeah.
the discussion.
Also, what about his 2 guns?
Oh, that's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
Well, actually, he was. Let me just double check this, but I'm pretty sure. His guns, whilst he was really good with them, that was mostly due to his skill. Yeah, he was basically equipped with 2 Reinhold Peacemakers.
That's pretty impressive damage for normal weapons. Then again,
It's what happens when you have really high accuracy and perception, which I think you can relate to.
indeed, I got normal weapon as well.
And he had special stunts. So
Yeah, and he also stunted like every other shot.
it wasn't the guns that were impressive; it was him. But I mean, you still got
Yep.
2. But again, Peacemakers are still decent pistols, and they might have a resale value, so you're welcome to take them.
Yeah, I was going to take them just for money.
Yeah. Then how many silver pieces we got there?
120.
Should we just divide it between all of us? So it's how many do we have? 5.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, so it's 20 per piece. Yep.
Yep. And you got the feather shot, got the knife, got the man stopper ammo. I think that's pretty much what you find from looking through the airship.
Yeah. We probably tell all the clicknids around here that they should probably go to the what was the place called where we came from?
Blue Wind Cartel, was it?
The blue
Yeah.
wind.
Yeah, cartel. Yeah.
Yeah, the Blue Wind Cartel City. That's actually called Rocks That Sing. That's their home.
Yeah. We'll round up all we can and tell them that which way it is and
Sure. So
stuff.
put it on the map. Just put things in context again. So you guys have been sort of out around there, and then Rocks That Sing, I think, was round about here. And then the place where the geezers are that you left Jesse Redhammer and that lot is somewhere around there.
Cool.
Just for reference.
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, the Clicknid are beginning to recover their senses after having kind of been severed from the Hive Queen's control. So you kind of they gather up into groups and they climb their way out of the canyon, and those that can fly help the ones who can't kind of to get out. And they sort of gather around where you've landed the airship, and sort of, yeah, they're kind of happy to follow your lead. Most of them are still quite disorientated, but they're also overjoyed to be free, and they make lots of happy kind of clicking and buzzing noises. And there's that particular one that Twig had named Long Wings, who kind of like has just been following Twig around quite dutifully since being rescued.
Oh yeah.
We can make a picnic crew.
No.
Yes.
Well, actually, they would be pretty good crew if we only pick the ones that can fly. But well, anyway. So yeah, we'll tell them that they are free from the Hive Queen's tyranny, and we were the ones who slayed her, and we shall take you to the Blue Wind Cartel. We will escort you there.
Yes.
Yes, and so I'll start the engines and dramatically start flying towards the very slowly so that they can. Hey, actually, by the way, how much does this ship hold? Can we take them all in one go?
And
Why don't we take the, because obviously they've just been in a battle, take the injured, because I'm guessing there would be some injured Clicknid.
Oh yeah, there are several engines. Some
So
Yeah.
if we take, like, prioritize those,
yeah,
Sounds good. And how many in total are there who cannot fly, who doesn't have wings? So
Right, I'm back.
welcome back.
Yeah.
So could we cram the wounded and the walkers to the ship and let the flyers fly alongside the ship?
We've still got the horses and stuff
Oh, yeah,
that
we
we
do.
used to get there.
Also, how many people will it carry? Is that including the winged, or? Right, okay. I think they'll probably just have to trek back, surely, then.
well, how about some of us go on the ship, some of us take the horses and my wolf. I'll stay on the ground with like my horses and wolf, and with the other Clicknids we'll go together.
I need to drive the storm chaser back anyway, so.
Well, why don't we put the injured and slowest onto the ship, and the ship can travel forward about a day, wait for the rest to catch up, so that we don't get too separated. We can meet up with all the wagons and stuff, because there might be space there, and then we can all go to the Clickney.
yeah.
I mean, we're not in a rush to get back, are we?
No, we're not racing against anyone now.
True that.
Plus,
But we don't need to go to our wagons where Jesse Redhammer is, because we just take these to the Blue Wind Cartel and then go after that to our wagons and start looking for our missing crewmen. Actually, the missing expedition members.
And what are we going to do about the prisoners?
Oh fuck yeah. Let's
About the
worry
what,
about
sorry?
that. Prisoners. Let's worry about that after we get the Kryptonians home.
I was going to say they could always like walk with the Clitnid. I mean, the Clitnid seems to be on our side, so surely they would help us keep them in line.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so it sounds like your plan is essentially you gather up the injured Clicknid and those who cannot fly, and you kind of like lead them onto the airship, and they either sort of the wounded maybe you can direct down below, and they can sort of take up space in the cabins and in the cargo hold and stuff like that. And those who are a bit more mobile, they just kind of mill around on the deck. They seem to find the airship really kind of exciting and strange, and they kind of start investigating it. They're kind of like trying to look under barrels and climbing up on the rigging and sort of like tapping bits of the engine experimentally, trying to understand what it is. And it gets very crowded and quite chaotic very quickly. But you're able to get all the Clicknid that need to be on the ship onto the ship, and then those remaining flyers, you give instructions basically to follow along. And the prisoners, I think, in my understanding from what you're saying there, is that you're going to make the prisoners walk, or are they going on the ship?
No, they're walking with all the able Clitnid who are also able to walk, I think. Unless
the
the last
walkers-
has a
Other walkers are on the ship.
Oh yeah, we've got the
they'll
flight.
be going with all the people taking the horses and the storm chaser.
Hmm. Yeah, I think they're still they are walking anyway.
Fair
There.
enough. They're ground based.
true. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we gotta take our ground mounts and stuff anyway, so we can escort them.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. So, in order to get this whole operation going, you do need to. I mean, Garrick's got a handle on steering the airship, but you do need to kind of plot your course, as it were. Like, I know we've got the map and you can see roughly where you're going, but things to get this airship going where you want to go, and you're gonna need someone to basically plot out the course, taking like the winds into consideration, so you can kind of steer a course to the Clicknid city, and then you'll need someone to actually pilot it. So I need someone to make an intelligence navigation check to actually plot out your course, and then I'll need someone to make a dexterity check to actually fly the thing.
Who are the brainiacs here?
I don't know if anyone happens to have a focus in navigation, but I'm not sure if anyone does.
Not
No,
really.
I don't think so. I got intelligence 4.
My intelligence is 5.
Whoever is most confident.
Yeah.
I'll pilot.
I leave it to Black Wolf.
So it's just 3d6 plus my int.
Yeah. Is it just a challenging check? Like, okay, you're. Okay.
I'll pilot with flourish.
You will. Okay, so it's a bit unfamiliar with the exact workings of the airship, but Tickle kind of like maybe studies some of the maps and stuff that are in Calavera's office and is able to sort of roughly work out how this is going to work. And Garrick seems to be getting a real feel for the controls, and he feels comfortable at the wheel of the helm of the ship. So yeah, with maybe takes you a couple of hours to get all the clicknids sorted and all the preparations that you need to do, but eventually you turn back on the engines of the airship, and it basically fires these Aether-fueled rockets to kind of get some lift, and you slowly take off from the ground. And you reach an altitude, maybe like 20-30 feet up in the air, like, so you're staying fairly low, so that you can sort of stay roughly in contact with those guys on the ground. But yeah, you're able to get your airship up and running.
Oh,
No.
1 minute, Wolfie. Before we went, could I pick up the thing that was in Calavera's chest? Had it cooled down enough?
Oh, the device. Yes. No. After a while, it became cool enough that you could actually pick it up. And basically, it looked
So
like
I'll pick that up.
basically it has a similar appearance to an actual heart. Like, it's sort of like this ball-shaped device with kind of valves that come off it. But the metal, it looks fairly warped from the quite extreme heat where you overloaded it, and you're not quite sure what to make of it. It basically looks like this kind of like, yeah, misshapen metal heart.
Hmm.
But otherwise, you good to proceed?
I just
Yeah, I
wanted
think
to
so.
know about that.
Yeah, no. It's good. Good job that you remembered to pick it up.
That sounds like it's important. We must remember that.
Hmm.
Well, it's good proof, if nothing else, that we did him in.
Yep.
Well, no, because I have his head.
That'll do.
I suppose you could argue that the head is just a skull, whereas the heart is perhaps a bit more unique. So
It could be any skull.
okay, so you've got this guy's
Yeah.
head and his heart. I mean, that's a fairly good memento collection.
Yeah. Should be enough to convince anyone that we killed him.
Okay, so whether you're traveling on the ground or if you're traveling in your newly acquired airship, you sort of as a group, although it's a fairly large migration at this point with all the click that you're leading, you over the course of the next few days manage to guide the Clicknids heading towards their capital city.
Yep.
Kind of retracing steps from places you've been before. So the terrain around this plot is fairly easygoing. It's not too bad for those of you on the ground. There's the occasional hill range to navigate, the occasional river to go around, but for the most part, like, it's easygoing. And yeah, so after about 4 days travel, you come back to Rocks That Sing, which you might remember is the Blue Wind Clicknid city that you'd visited before. So you've got those large columns of rock that kind of have lots of hollowed honeycomb-like tunnels through them. And when the wind blows through the tunnels, it makes this kind of like droning noise that the Clicknids seem to appreciate. And at the base of these rocky pillars, there are the massive market of all the Clicknid. And, it's much as you remember it. There's big crowds of Clicknids sort of moving between various market stalls and their little huts and shelters and sort of going about their day. But as you start to approach with your airship and this group on the ground as well, a lot of commotion starts, and a swarm of blue-winged Clicknid soldiers leave their posts guarding the marketplace and come flying towards the airship in a state of alarm. And they quickly fly in the way of the airship, forcing it to stop, almost making a barricade. And they are armed with spears and with bows and arrows. And those with the bows and arrows have them drawn and ready to fire. However, they seem to be not willing to fire on their own people, since the ship is currently still filled with lots of clicknid.
I'll yell from the helm that, hold your fire, we come in peace. And we have lots of injured clicknids here we are bringing home.
Twig also points out that they are free. They're free wings.
Also, I point out that we didn't get Baron Vole.
Where is the good Baron?
Oh yeah.
That's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I'm afraid
You gun man.
you lost him in the fight, and you didn't make any effort to.
We did.
Go in.
I don't you
Well, no,
remember
you
last week? I know
sensed
where he
where
is.
he was heading, but
Do I still know where he's heading? Oh, where was he heading? I can't remember.
he was heading west from the canyon. I'm sorry, not west from the canyon, east from the canyon.
Either way, we done goofed.
Well, we can go back and look for him.
Yeah,
let's
you
do
can.
it.
But for now, right, basically, so the captain of the Clicknid Guard kind of lands on the front bow of the airship, and yeah, as Twig was yelling out, you know, like, oh, they're free Clicknid, and all the Clicknid on the ship start joining in, going, free Clicknid home. And the guard realizes that they're, you know, safe. They're not under any kind of control. And he makes a high-pitched shrieking noise of joy. And he says, come, bring giant flying beast. Come to city. Trade princess be very happy to see you. Come. And he kind of like flies back to the other Clicknid guards, and they, instead of blocking the airship's way, they now basically fly alongside it, and they kind of form an honor guard as you move the airship in, so that it is basically hovering right over the marketplace. And underneath you can see all these Clicknid traders kind of like looking up and like making high-pitched shrieks and buzzing noises, and generally like cheering and showing their appreciation that, you know, at least most of their loved ones have returned. And you see of the Clicknid on the ground, like a lot of them go kind of running into the marketplace and finding people that they used to know, and you see Clicknids hugging each other, and like generally everyone's very excited, and there's an atmosphere of jubilation.
That's
Isn't
nice.
that nice?
Twig is crying because it's happy.
Aww.
Twig is overcome with joy.
This is why I joined the Rangers.
So the Clicknid, who obviously you've got a load of Clicknid on board as well, so maybe somebody drops a rope ladder over the side, and that allows them, because obviously you're kind of right by the city, it's not really an ideal landing place, but you can throw ropes and stuff over to the rock columns, and then they start like climbing across, and then they can make their way down through the tunnels in the rock columns to get down to the ground. So basically you get a mass exodus as all these Clicknids start like climbing and getting back down into their city.
Yeah, and the flyers can carry the wounded.
Yes, absolutely. Maybe Garrick directs the guards to help carry the wounded Clicknid over, and they take them off down into there's a cavern underneath one of the rock columns nearby, which kind of serves as like a medical area, like their version of a hospital. So they quickly get carried down there.
Good.
And the captain of the guard returns to you and basically says, "You do very good, very, very good. But you come now. You come report to Trade Princess. She summons you."
Yes. Let me get my friends first. So we will all come.
Yeah.
Yes, good. You come. All come. Very good.
Good, good. Good, good. I'll get my friends and
Let's
then
go.
we will proceed.
Okay, cool. So you get escorted to kind of through the little honeycomb tunnels in the rock to the Hive Queen's kind of throne room's the wrong term, because really it's mostly just a large cavern filled with piles of gold. But basically, that place that you were taken before to see the trade princess, that is the same place that you are taken to now. So I'll just load you in. I will also point out, I just noticed from your guys' tokens that a lot of you have your health still very low. It's fair to assume that you've managed to rest and recuperate over the last few days, so you can always go ahead and whack your health bars back up to where they should be.
Oh, but I like being injured. No, I don't.
It's my
I
natural
don't.
state.
Don't worry,
It
we'll soon
reminds
have
me
you
of
again.
weakness.
So, yeah, you are guided into this room, and unlike last time, where the guards basically, well, half of you are prisoners and they treated you very roughly, this time they stand to attention and kind of like slam the ends of their spears against the floor in kind of like a cheering drumming motion. So they're like going tap 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 as a way of sort of celebrating your entrance. And you guys are led in to where the trade princess Takai is once again kind of standing next to her enormous pile of shinies. And she opens all four of her arms wide to you, and she goes, "Yes, welcome, welcome, saviors of the blue wind. Come in."
Let's go in.
Like you see you come in and sort of stand before her, and she's got her two kind of like little advisors on either side. She goes,
Tax collectors and advisors and
"Yep, all the important stuff."
indeed.
And yeah, she says, I see you bring my people home. Tell me, have you completed the deal? Do you bring me head of most treacherous enemy, the Hive Queen?
Twig sort of pulls her face, and she's kind of like, "Well, we dealt with the Hive Queen.
Yes, excellent. Dealt with beheading. Yes.
Unfortunately,
Much crushing.
there are no pieces left. She was eradicated.
Blown up. Exploded.
We destroyed her so bad there was no pieces left.
There was no head left.
No pieces. Not
Only Ichor.
Advisors, attend me. And she beckons for her two little advisors to kind of come and talk to her, and they basically start whispering to each other and making like little click noises at each other. And they have like a little conference for a minute, and then the advisors kind of step back. And this guy over here, this Pokmik guy, the tax collector, he says, "How do we know that you have not just let the Hive Queen go? Chased her away, made some deals always with squishy skins."
Where is Longwings? Can someone find Longwings?
Yeah, he was with us.
He was with you. Maybe he was one of the last ones to leave the ship, because
We can make Longwings the first officer of the ship.
Oh my god.
Because we've got multiple accounts from the surviving Clicknid that we defeated her.
Yes. And some of
They
them are
all-
probably the hive guards that were in the
Oh, yeah.
room when we killed her. That actually saw the deed.
Oh yeah.
Good.
Very well. Go. Fetch this Long Wings. Although I do not believe this is a Clicknid name.
No, he couldn't remember his name, but I gave him that name until he could remember his own. I'll go off and find Longwings.
Does she know what Calavera's ship looks like?
She wouldn't, because they didn't use the airship to come here when you last saw them here.
Hmm.
But,
And it could be that other ships looks the same to them, probably.
Yeah.
But
Could be.
after a couple of minutes, Twig is very easily able to find Longwings and is able to bring her back to the room. And she's kind of nervous about entering the Trade Princess's sanctuary, but Twig kind of brings her in.
Twig leads her by the hand as a show of solidarity. And I say this is the Clicknid Longwings. Longwings, can you tell the Trade Princess about the
About what
battle
happened.
and about what happened?
Well, okay. So Longwings goes, well, it all began many years ago when Longwings was born as an egg.
Twig face palms and says, no, just the battle, just what happened to the Hive Queen.
Ah, yes, Hive Queen. Longwings confused brain bad from many times with Hive Queen, but Longwings better now, even though Longwings do not know name, but Twig give new name. And Longwings remembers Hive Queen, very bad Hive Queen, making Longwings and other Clicknid dig for things and look after eggs. It's very bad. But then one day Longwings is, oh, Longwings can think for self. Longwings is happy. Longwings not under control. Longwings turn around and see where Hive Queen used to be is big ugly mess. Very bad mess. Longwings think, how Longwings going to clean this mess up? Then Longwings meet Twig, and Twig say that Twig kill Hive Queen. Twig kill Hive Queen in single combat. Twig, very powerful warrior. Look at these wings. Tiny wings, but strong. And she starts kind of gesturing and
Twig nods emphatically as though this is the absolute truth.
And then, after Twig has destroyed Hive Queen in single combat, Twig's friends get rid of nasty Skullman and take his giant flying beast for selves. And then they take all the blue and Clicknid, all of us, and we come back here, we come home.
I'll just bring it back.
Right, but there you go. So Longwings gives that little tale, and the Trade Princess is convinced that you've done as you said you would.
Yes, we have fulfilled our end of the bargain.
Yes. And Trade Princess Kite never goes back on deal, not if she can help it. So, as promised, I will offer you and your people a non-aggression treaty with Blue Wind Clicknid. I will let the advisors draw up the necessary documents, many documents, yes. But from here on we be friends, yes? You not hurt us, we not hurt you, we can do good tradings. Buy, sell many things. Many profits for Takai, yes?
Yes, this sounds a very good deal.
And as for nasty failure, Calavera, He and his people, Reinhold people, they will be enemies. We will not do buying and sellings with them. No trade with the Reinholds. They cannot even kill one little hive queen.
Yes, Reinholds are quite incompetent,
Yes,
like their
good,
leader
good.
was. Well, we have liberated and brought home close to 50 clicknids,
Back in, by the way.
and I would ask that you'd consider it, that you'd consider a boon to us for this favor.
Boon? What is boon? It is shiny?
It is a favor. Favor for a favor. It's a trade of kinds.
Trade, yes, trade. Oh, yes, you. What do you want for this boon trade?
We have brought you your people home, so we would very much appreciate supplies for our caravan that has met misfortune on the shattered plains.
Hmm. He wants supplies. And then the advisors kind of like come in again, and they have another little like conference. And then they step back. And advisor Icknick over here, this is like very kind of squawky, nervous kind of clickvid who's always kind of shuddering about. He says, "It seems that you wish something for free. 50 Clicknids rescued was part of original deal with Trade Princess. Yes, non-aggression pact for helping Clicknid. Now you want more things. Changing deal is bad."
Was bringing the Quickness home part of the deal? I don't actually remember that.
Yeah, I think it was.
Oh
no,
yeah.
no, it wasn't.
Yeah, I thought we were just went there to kill the queen.
Twig sticks out her hand and says, "Objection! Actually, you only asked for the Hive Queen's head. You said nothing about returning the Clicknid. We brought you back 50 of your people."
Yes, supplies for exchange of these is very cheap for you.
More
It
than
is.
fair.
It is more than fair. It is in fact bad deal for us and good deal for you.
Also, think you will be saviors of very powerful people from your new trade partners. They will want to trade with you because you can show off your goods.
Yeah. Can I make a what's the role? I want to say suggestion, but it's not the right name.
Flirting?
No.
Persuasion.
Sorry, what was
Communication,
that?
persuasion?
Persuasion, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to make a persuasion roll to
Yeah,
see
sure.
if I can persuade Takei that that this is a more than fair deal.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna say I think you guys made some good points there, so I'm gonna downgrade it to an average check. Because you made several compelling arguments.
Oh my god.
However, as Twig opens her
No.
mouth to
Oh.
make her point, a small bug flies into her mouth, and she temporarily is choking. And the
Can I
Clicknid
try
is
to
just
salvage
completely
it?
confused as to what she's on about.
Can I try to salvage the situation?
Yeah, sure.
Wow.
Oh my god.
I'll try to step forward to start talking when Twig starts coughing, but I'll trip to Longwing's leg or something.
Oh god. Oh yeah, you
Twig.
trip over Longwing's legs whilst Twig is coughing, and Takai and her advisors just kind of like their heads just turn from side to side in complete confusion as to what's going on.
Can I
And,
try to do something here?
Takai says, "Is strange negotiating tactic?"
I mean, I'll step forward and Garrick, don't hurt yourself. And
I hit my head.
say that let's not think this as a deal where we have made a pact of friendship and we return your people to you as a show of goodwill and friendship. And if you can show us a show of friendship and goodwill by giving our caravan much needed supplies, that would go a long way to show our people that we mean business and we actually want this friendship to work.
Yes, very well. We will give you supplies, food, and whatever it is that you softskins need, and that will be in payment for the 50 clicknid you have returned. But that is the end of that deal. Anything
yes.
else you want will be new deal.
Yes.
And,
That is most generous.
Pokmik, the tax collector, says, yes, we can pay for the supplies with the increased tax revenue from the 50 clicknid, Your Majesty. She says, yes, good.
These guys are ruthless.
Do Calavera's pistols have any like engraving on them, telling them that they're Calavera's?
Yes, they are quite nice actually. They have like ivory patterns kind of inlaid into the handles. So they are just peacemakers, but they are fancy looking peacemakers.
Calavera's Reaper.
No, Calavera's someone from Metal Gear Solid 5. He looks exactly like it. And there's Devil Dogs, which is also from Metal Gear. Anyway.
In my defense, I've never played any Metal Gear, so that's a coincidence.
Anyway. Should we...
I was thinking about trying to trade them, but I can't think of anything I want for it.
Just Chinese.
Many Chinese.
Black Wolf doesn't care about shinies.
Well, if our business here is concluded, we can leave.
By your leave, trade princess.
Yes. Go on. The formal agreements will be sent to your town of what was it called?
Prosperity Junction.
Clickety Junction. Yes. The documents will be sent. I will send a trade envoy. When I feel like it.
I say, well, if you do you have any weird ore? I'd ask her if they trade in weird ore, or do we have any? I'm sure they know what the ore we're talking about is.
Exploding ore.
Yeah, I'd like describe what weird ore is and ask them if they trade in that.
She says, yes, we have many ores. We have the magic metal that you speak of.
I say, well, if she sends it quickly with a lot of that, because Prosperity Junction is in dire of need of it, they can get a lot of shinies.
Yes.
You would give many shinies for this metal.
Yes, it would give you a lot of shinies because we use it for things that you may not use it for. So if you send your envoy with a lot of that, you'll be able to get a lot of shinies and even negotiate maybe a better deal for yourself.
It's good. Yes, yes. I will do as you say.
Good catch, Black Wolf.
Here, you. And she sort of reaches into her giant pile of kind of gold and money and picks out this like one nugget, like tiny nugget of gold. Like you could probably just squeeze it between your thumb and your forefinger. But she picks it up and she just kind of like flings it through the air to Black Wolf, and you catch it and goes, there is finder's fee for the deal. Let it not be said, trade Princess Takai is not generous.
I say I'm honoured for this. I'm honoured, and then just step away.
Most generous, Your Highness.
Okay, cool. So yeah, she will send a trade envoy with some supplies of weird ore and, things for signing to make you guys officially allied. Yeah. If there's no more business, she dismisses you and thanks you once again for, good dealing and returning her people safe.
Good. I'll return to the ship. Oh, actually, I'll take Theo with me and I'll walk around the marketplace.
Okay.
With Theo trying to sense magical auras.
Ah,
Oh,
that's a good idea.
Also, Wolfie?
Yeah?
Out of the survivors, do we know if the captain of that other ship survived? Look, there was Longhorn.
Graves.
I can't remember.
Yeah, she did.
Clicknet crew.
Right, let me just move you into the market. Oh, you're already in there. There we go.
Do. Now, Theo, go find me a gun.
Yes.
Sorry, what are you guys actually planning on doing?
We'll have Theo walk around the marketplace with the magical awareness thing on, so he can scout out some goodies easily.
Indeed.
Okay, so you're essentially looking for what? Well, you're going to search for magical items.
Yeah, pretty much anything. Magical items.
Okay, fair enough. Just roll to cast your spell for me, please.
A great success.
Okay, cool. Right, so you go walking around, kind of around the marketplace, trying to use your sense to pick up on things. It is obviously quite busy. Like, there's a lot of excitement in the air because all these other clicknits have come home, so it's even busier than before. You have to push your way past quite a number of clicknid that are around in the area. But let's see what you can find. I'm actually going to do some rolling for this because I have random generated tables for things that you can find in the market. So actually, you head over to maybe this sort of yellow checkered tent over here, and let's see what you find there. Okay, well, while you're walking past that, apparently you found a Confederate pistol, which seems an odd thing to find lying around in a clicknid market. But it does have a faint magical aura about it, which you think is the result of this pistol used to belong to someone who was quite powerful in magic. And so you start looking at this pistol, and you're kind of like, well, what is that even doing there? Why did Clicknit have it? And a merchant comes up to you and goes, "Ah, I see you admiring special paperweight, yes? Very valuable. Keeps paper really down on table. Never getting away, that paper, with special paperweight."
It does look quite efficient.
Yes, yes, very good. See, see? And he takes a piece of paper, lifts up the pistol, puts the paper under it, puts the pistol back on. He goes, see? Paper go nowhere. Even with light breeze.
Most impressive. How many shinies would that paperweight cost?
Oh, it's very special paperweight, very special. I think, or we will need quite a few shinies.
Doesn't look that special to me. I'll show my rifle. Look at this. Much bigger. Hold much more paper under it.
I can't imagine a Clicknid
Well
saying
spoken.
finesse.
Can I walk by and go, my paperweights are better than showing the dual pistols that I have?
Those are nice.
Ah, yeah, I see you are true collector. You are, and then it struggles with this word, and it tries to say, you are connoisseur. Connoisseur of paperweights. Surely fine collector like yourself needs to add this paperweight to your collection.
Do you want to buy that?
I'm not.
What does the magic do in that?
Can I inspect the paperweight?
Yeah, sure. Hang on, 1 second.
I think it's a perception roll.
Yes, that would. I'm just. Oh, actually, what are you trying to determine? Because it could be evaluation. You just
I
trying
was
to inspect
thinking.
it, or you sort of assessing its worth, or.
I was thinking that I'll try to assess if the magic has any useful properties, or if it's just like a leftover energy from its last user.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Well, I think from what you've already detected with your what's it called, arcane awareness, you're fairly certain it's just that it had a magical aura on it because somebody magical had owned it. The weapon itself doesn't appear to be particularly magical.
You have a fine paperweight there, but I think we'll keep looking.
Okay, come back if you need more paperweights.
Of course.
Okay, so you want to keep looking?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe you head around and you find yourself drawn. Maybe you get a vibe of something sort of further over on the other side of the market. There's this sort of slightly rather shabby looking market stall. It's just like a bit of green fabric that's been stretched over some sticks over here. But there's a sort of an old Clicknid sort of sitting cross-legged in the stall, and she's sort of got like a few piles of items lying around, and a few crates and trinkets and things. And she sort of welcomes you into her stall, and you're having a look around. And she says you can look around, and you find yourself drawn to a particular jar. It's sort of like this big glass jar that's sort of full of some kind of red liquid. And it again has kind of a faint magical aura about it. Maybe you go to pick up the jar, and you see.
I'll ask about it.
Well, sorry, you say you ask about it.
Yeah. What might this be, and where did you get it?
Ah, yes, it's very special. It's Wendigo blood.
Wendigo
Bad monster troll blood. Very rare. Very difficult to collect. Very expensive.
Oh, yes.
And as you're looking at it, you see that there's actually an eyeball inside the blood. And as you shake the jar a bit, like the eyeball on its little stalk in the blood just kind of like turns and looks at you.
Ugh.
Yes,
Nice.
Wendigo blood, very powerful, useful ingredients. Many magics from Wendigo blood.
Indeed. Didn't we at one point discuss about this Wendigo blood? Was it last campaign or this campaign?
It was last one.
Yeah, I think so too.
They had amazing regenerative properties, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
What if you could somehow work Wendigo blood when you make a gun? Would that have like any self-healing properties? Or like life leeching properties?
I would. That would actually be quite good. How many shinies for this? Rare and valuable Wendigo blood.
This Wendigo blood, and how her brood sister travels across the plains and fought with a Wendigo and against all odds triumphed. And how she collected this blood from it after she killed it. And after she's told you the story for about 10 minutes and it's gone on for way too long, she finally puts up her hands and says, "But for you, I think maybe 6 shinies? 6 shiny things. You have shiny things?
I have shiny things.
But good shiny things. Only good shiny things."
I have 2 gold coins. I'll take them out. I have 2 good shiny things. And then I'll take silver dollars out. Then I have many not quite so shiny things.
Yes. Some of these are not so shiny, but I guess there are many.
There are many.
She'll sell it to you for, well, if you sort of take 40 of your silver and your 2 gold, that comes to about 60. Well, that comes to the equivalent of 6 gold dollars, and she'll accept that as the equivalent of 6 shinies.
That'll do.
So if you deduct 40 silver and 2 gold, and you can have a nice jar of Wendigo blood. It's quite a big jar, I should say. It's like a large glass jar. Like, you need both hands to hold it.
You're forgetting about the eye in the middle.
And it's
The eye is the most exciting bit.
Also, do you know what would be quite funny? If that was the blood of the Wendigos we killed.
Oh my god!
Do you know?
Just happened across it and went, oh.
Yep.
Can I do a perception test to see if there are any, like, actually I suppose I wouldn't need perception particularly for it. Are there any stores that are selling Clicknid instruments?
Okay. Yeah, so you don't need a test for that. You can wander around for a while, perhaps, and you do find one. There is one little stall that seems to have a few kind of like woodwind type instruments. Maybe it's one of these ones down here, like this chap by the blue tent. And yeah, he has what appear to be a number of kind of woodwind instruments, but they're kind of like odd shapes. If you imagine kind of like things like recorders and flutes made of wood, but instead of being nice and like straight all the way along, they sort of have areas where they get wider, like the tubes get wider and then get very, very thin.
Okay.
And he demonstrates one to you. He sort of picks it up like this kind of weirdly shaped flute thing, and he kind of makes a little humming noise at the back of his throat and then puts it up to his mouth, and then that humming noise kind of blows through the instrument, and it actually, the different shapes seem to turn the humming into kind of like quite a varied, complicated note when it comes out the other end.
Okay.
And it's not pretty, but there is something kind of appealing about it. Like, it gives kind of a bassy sound to it.
Does he have like? How big is it? Because if it's massive,
he's got a range of them. He's got stuff that's like as big as as big as a saxophone to stuff that's as small as a very small penny whistle.
Because Twig obviously isn't very big, so she'd have to
Twig
buy
isn't
one of
big.
the smaller ones. But
He goes, for you, little friend, perhaps this, and he picks up this very tiny thing that looks like a miniature recorder that's like only in like half an inch long. He goes, this given to Clicknid children when very small. His first instrument for them. Perhaps first instrument for you, yes?
Twig sort of laughs and says, "It's definitely not my first instrument."
But
Where's
only
Dexys?
Clicknid instrument is true instrument.
Can I do a short performance for him on Dexys?
You can. Sorry,
Like just a little one.
let me get Dexys to you.
Sorry, I've already moved him.
Oh, have you? Okay, cool. He probably just had a bit of trouble making his way through the crowds.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you get Dexys, and what would you like to do?
I'm just gonna play him like a short, maybe like 3 or 4 minute song, maybe some sort of like Fey, like children's rhyme or something, but slightly more epic than that. Like she's sort of taken the song and made it cooler.
Okay, yeah, cool, fair enough.
Name our heroic song from last campaign.
It went on for half an hour. It was so long. Do I need to roll?
Yeah, roll a
perform?
performance check. See how you do. Wow. Okay,
Finally.
you do very well. And you get a couple of stump points.
I
I guess
need
this
to
would be a
find-
role-playing stunt.
Yeah. I'm gonna do sway the crowd, but I can do that for 1 because specialist, and Bon Mott at the end.
Okay, sure. So you go into this great performance. It's an adapted children's song, but you kind of Twig adds in lots of kind of interesting flourishes and maybe goes off on a few tangents. And what was originally meant to maybe be a song of a couple of minutes does kind of go off into about a 15-minute kind of elaborate story, poem, song medley. And several Clicknid kind of get drawn in by this performance and kind of start gathering around and kind of like tapping along with their many arms. So you get this tapping along with the notes on Dexys. And then you finally kind of get to the end. You kind of build up to this big finish, and you kind of like hit the final power chord on Dexys. Maybe launch one of the little pyrophone shots by accident, so it just fires like a little firework explosive up into the air, and everyone kind of cheers. And then Twig just sort of spins on her heels, looks at the merchant, and says, "This ain't my first instrument." And the Glitnid is just like stunned, and he just kind of goes, "Oh, okay, maybe just one shiny."
I was gonna say maybe I'll haggle, but actually there's no point. Like 1 shiny's fine.
He was gonna ask for free, but your song has pushed the price down.
I will trade him. I'm gonna. I offer him the food stone that I got.
Oh, you did have one of those. Didn't you get that here?
Yeah, when we were here the first time.
Okay, fine. He will happily take the food stone and goes, yes, it's a good deal. I give you. Here, take your instrument. I take food stone. I will eat well tonight.
Twig asks, what's the name of the instrument? What are they called?
Okay, he says, they are called, and then he just makes a series of rapid clicking noises that you can't really follow.
Fair enough.
So he sort of blinks and says, "Is there a common name?" No.
Loosely translate, it is my first windpipe. I think something lost in translation, yes?
So
Twig,
just
twig,
fine.
Right. So I've added my first windpipe to my equipment. I'll shake his hand and
Okay, you shake one of his
say,
hands, and
"Good."
then like you quickly get into this dance as like he then extends his other arm, and then his other arm, and then his other arm, and so like Twig just kind of ends up. I think she probably ends up shaking some of the arms more than once. It gets a bit confusing, but eventually your deal is concluded, and yeah, you're both happy.
While this is going on, I'll search a marketplace for any guns, like if they happen to have, other than that pistol, like rifles or shotguns.
Okay, you don't find any more Confederate weapons around the marketplace that you can see. It doesn't. It seems that one that they had was something of an oddity.
Yeah.
You do come across. I mean, there are weapons merchant, and they are selling Clicknid hunting bows and arrows. You also find there's a merchant who's selling a set of throwing daggers that look like they've been made out of hyena teeth.
Ooh.
But
That's awesome.
those are the only kind of ranged weapons that you find in the market.
Hmm. Not my kind of tools. Well, I'll gather the folks up and say, are we ready to leave?
I'm ready.
I guess we are.
Yeah, I think we're ready.
Let's go back to the airship and see if they have loaded the goods and supplies there.
Okay, so you climb kind of on this winding staircases that kind of take you back up the towers. And from there, you're able to get back onto your airship. As you arrive, the final kind of cases of supplies are just being dropped off on the deck by a bunch of Clicknid guards. And one of the guards, after they've finished dropping off these supplies, he kind of just brings over like this kind of like it's kind of like a spine, like a an insect-like spine, like a like a small sharp instrument, and he basically stabs it in a small little pot of ink and asks Garrick to sign on this bit of paper he's got to say that you've received it all.
I'll read it first.
It isn't written in a language you can understand. It's a lot of Clicknid's symbols that mostly look like kind of squiggles and squares.
Okay. I'll pray to the gods that I don't sign myself up to slavery, and then I'll sign.
Okay, fair enough. So you sign at the bottom of the page, and then the guy gets out 2 more copies that appear to be of the same thing and asks you to sign those as well. And
I'll oblige.
yeah, and he gives you 1 copy after that's all done and takes the other 2 off with him. And
Can I just say, when that's happening, like, the ATC are going to love these guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's right up their alley. Good, good.
Nice.
You.
Yeah, whatever we don't know, we can ask you, come on.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Uh, I'll tell the who the gnomes and stuff to take them below deck. Okay, are the rest of the prisoners, like the Iron Bull and the stuff, are they here?
I mean,
Yeah.
Is the Iron Bull dude out of the Iron Ball?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we should go get them. We have to deal with them sooner or later, and one way or another.
Yeah,
Are
we
the
definitely don't
gnomes,
want to forget
It's
them.
our responsibility.
are the gnomes our prisoners as well? Were they part of
Uh,
the?
That's
Yeah.
actually
Oh yeah,
that depends
no,
on what they say when we ask them.
Yeah.
Let's carry them up. The gnomes. Yeah. So you guys, uh, what are your names actually? I don't think we ever got around to asking that.
Hayden, Jaden, Braden.
Right?
Ah.
Sleepy,
let's go with that.
bashful.
The gnomes, not dwarves.
Well, anyways, what were your relationship with those Calavera and Punch? Were you part of their mercenary gang? I'll try to see. Um, were you hired by uh, Reinhold Industries or who?
So they were basically working in the town of Reinhold's Claim, which is the main Reinhold town on Umber, and they were just hired to do the job because they'd worked on airships before. So
Hmm.
you know they've only been on this ship for a few months.
I'll gather the rest of the guys. So, what do you guys think? Are these guys absolved of the mercenaries' crimes, or I'd kind
Who
of
the
say they
gnome?
are?
Yeah. No.
I mean, I don't think they particularly did anything wrong, except like they just sort of did a job. Like
Yeah.
they're certainly not
Well,
as guilty as the rest
guy.
of the group.
Pull up his head.
Indeed. So, do you guys think if we can trust them as our crew in this airship if we hire them? Or might they have like lingering loyalties to Reinhold Industries?
It'd be really useful if you had someone who actually does empathy.
Late crew.
You can still do perception without the empathy focus.
I know,
Yeah.
but it'd be easier if we had it.
I'll ask them, and I will try to look for their reaction with perception.
Okay, sure.
I'll ask. How do they feel about working for ATC or the Rangers?
Okay, well they have a little discussion, and then the head gnome, who I don't know, well,
Hayden.
Hayden, yes, thank you. The head gnome Hayden is like, hey, as far as we're concerned, you know, we just wanna do a good job and get paid. You know, we just came to Umber as a little group, just looking to make a fresh start. Working with the ATC's the same as working to Reinhold, as far as we're concerned.
I'll try to see if he's telling the truth.
Okay.
It was perception?
Yes.
Oh god.
He seems to be a perfectly genuine little gnome.
I'll turn to the others. Well, I trust him.
Can I go? Can I basically? Can I say? Can I remind them that we killed Calavera? If they think about anything, we can take them. I say it loud enough so then they can hear us. You know, so if they think about, they can take us. They can. And with this, I attach Calavera's skull to the bow or the front of the ship.
Okay. So they kind of watch with morbid curiosity as you just sort of attach this skull, and then you hear old Hayden saying, never liked that guy anyway. He was mean and he never paid us very well. And he goes up to the skull that you've just mounted and gives it kind of a flick with his finger just to kind of like snub it.
Well, I'm satisfied. How about you guys?
Yeah, I kind of like that guy.
Yeah. Hayden the gnome.
Dollars
Old
is dollars.
Hayden the gnome. Comes from a long line of Haydens.
Indeed. Hayden the 14th.
Oh, easily, yeah.
Well, we can decide that later, but I was thinking if we should hire them as ATC crew or as Ranger crew, but we can decide that later.
Yeah, I'd say get us back to where are we going?
We're going to the caravan that we left somewhere north from here.
Here's what I say. We say you stay on with us. I'd say you stay with us from now, and once we get back to Prosperity Junction or somewhere where we can get ATC, we will make it so that they compensate you for work.
Yeah.
They seem happy with that, like, yeah, full pay.
For once. Okay, now that we've dealt with the gnomes, we have to decide what we do with the prisoners.
Okay.
First of all, let's go get them to this ship from where they are being held.
Is there a brig?
No, it's not that big a ship. The
We can
cargo
contract
hold
Watson.
has some kind of metal cages for kind of like, keeping goods in place that you could probably, improvise into a brig if you needed to. But then that would be depriving you of just some cargo space, but you can probably make it work.
Yeah, because I kind of don't want to just line them up and execute them. There are like 3 of them or 4 of them.
There's one in particular that I need alive as well.
Yeah. So what I was thinking is that we take them as prisoners and keep them in the brig until we get back to Prosperity Junction, and then we will send them into a prison in what's the main planet was?
You're sorry?
In the planet we are from.
Oh, Verdant.
Yeah, Verdant. We sent them to Verdant to Confederation prison or something.
Prosperity Junction prison works just as well.
I say, you're the lawman, you decide.
Yeah, that's what we'll do then. We'll take them to Prosperity Junction to Sheriff's prison and wait for them to get transferred to Verdant, where they will face justice.
Fair enough. That
Yeah, okay.
sounds like a good plan.
Then what about the good Baron? Do we go look for him or not?
Well, we do have obligation, and we have like more pressing matters than looking for him.
I mean, we
He's
only
just some
needed
guy.
him because of the Hive Queen soul.
And we
We'd like-
kind of got him out of the prison.
Yeah, and he took off on by his own, so
I would
he's on
point
his
out
own.
it was a very powerful, not very well contained soul. As he did say, he had
Yeah.
trouble putting it into his Dreamcatcher thing.
Did he capture the Queen's soul?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's what we were originally going to use as like not payment as such, but you know, like when we blew up the
Proof.
Queen and we were like, oh shit. So we said, oh, we'll take the soul with us and we'll use that as proof.
Did anyone remember why he was out of his home in the first
There
place?
was some trouble in there, and he was looking for help.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of worried that he has the soul of the Hive Queen, but I don't think we have the time to go look for him because the caravan needs us, and there are still lots of caravan members out there scattered that we need to find.
Yeah, and look what happened the last time we left for too long.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, I think you have more or less recovered all the missing crew members by now.
Yeah, I think so
good.
too.
Because you found the bunch that were here the first time you came here, and a few came back themselves because you lit that signal fire, and the other bunch you found were dead because they'd been killed by the Hive Queen's Clicknid.
All right.
So you've pretty much you rescued pretty much everyone who was still alive to be found.
Well, that's good.
So because yeah, there were 7 wagons in the caravan, and you sort of recovered you recovered most of them except one, and then you replaced one because you bought an extra wagon. So you've lost a few lives, but mostly you've got the caravan's pretty much back to full strength. Minus
Okay.
the several odd people who got killed.
And the treacherous orcs.
And also, technically, if you think about it, we actually have completed the mission, because by me sending the thing with Weirdar, we've temporarily, fixed the mission. Or fixed the...
Yeah.
So we can also... It's more of a thing of we can like get everyone back to Prosperity Junction, and then redo, another expedition later. Now that we'll have a decent, because I'm sure they'll negotiate a decent, like trade deal between them for Weirdar. So then, while we're while they're getting supplied, everyone can regroup, get rested and stuff like that, and then they can go out on another expedition and maybe check the people better.
I think it would be good to make some kind of outpost here.
Yeah, let's go to the expedition and see what they are up to and what they want to do, because we were hired as their escort anyway, so we should do it until they are satisfied and they want to go back to Prosperity Junction.
True that.
Any objections?
Nope, I think that's the right thing to do.
Good. Let's go then. Let's go get the prisoners and the iron bull armor, and we'll load them into the makeshift brig.
Okay, sure. So yeah, you improvise a sort of a brig out of some of the cages in the cargo hold. Like, it's not going to be comfy in there, but it doesn't need to be. So you round up your prisoners. You've got Nettle, who's the Fae. You've got Brunt, who's the kind of cowboy with some mechanical implants. There's Silas, who was the guy who pretended to be a preacher when you were back in Blackor all that time ago, and the Iron Bull guy, who's called Bill the Iron Bull. Yeah.
Iron Bill.
Yeah, no one ever makes that joke to him, and he ever. It's weird. Yeah, so you got those four, and the rather damaged Iron Bull armor suit, and you bring that all on board, and you stuff them all in the cargo hold and lock them up.
Yep. Up and away.
Okay, so you essentially, you guys are now going to leave the Clicknid and head back to Jesse Redhammer and the caravan.
Yeah.
Yes. Is the gnomes enough to operate the ship? Like, if we make the navigation.
They're enough to, as long as you can do the navigation and the steering and look after the engines, they can do the kind of more of the day-to-day stuff. They can, swap the deck and move supplies around, like just keep everything kind of tidy and in basic working order.
Yes.
They can do everything that doesn't require a specialist. The specialist tasks being the navigation, the helm, and the engines.
That sounds good.
They can also operate the cannons if cannons need to be fired.
How many cannonballs do we have?
Oh, several dozen.
How many cannons do we have?
5. There's 2 on each side of the ship, and there's 1 at the front.
Nice.
Awesome.
But they're like below decks. They're the kind that stick out the side through a kind of porthole type thing.
Wasn't the name of this ship the Black Dragon?
Yes, it was.
Do we want to rename it, or do we want to keep the name the mercenaries had?
The shining beacon of justice.
I think we should rename it.
No,
Cool.
I like the Black Dragon. It's cool.
Well, it is kind of cool.
Yeah, but that's what Calavera would have called it.
Yeah, but keeping the name and telling everyone we've got it shows that we beat him.
The Pink Panther.
Also, the fact that we've got his skull on the bow.
The cackling skull.
Arguably a more evil-sounding name than when the evil people had it.
The long reach of the law.
Yeah, maybe leave it for now then.
Yeah,
Let's
we
not
can think
rename
of
it.
one later.
I suppose there'll always be an option to rename it if you guys settle on a name that you like.
Yeah.
Right, so for now, you let the Clicknin know that you'll be leaving. Kind of, so you take control of the airship. engage the engines and start to pull away. And as you pass over the Clicknin marketplace, there's a sort of final cheer for your efforts, and you hear the sound of hundreds of Clicknids kind of like making a humming, droning noise in unison that mingles with the droning sound that the wind makes when it blows through these special rocks, and it creates this kind of like almost trumpeting noise of victory, and that's your send off as you leave. They're saluting you for everything you've done for them. And
It's a proper send off.
yeah, and so then you take the airship and you head north, back towards the three geezers where Jesse Redhammer and the wagons are camped out. I will say now's probably a good time to have a break, since we're between scenes and it's got to about that time. So if you want to take like 10 minutes, just grab a drink or whatever you need to do, and then we'll see what happens when you get back to the expedition.
Sweet.
Also, I like the idea of geezers and it's just two blokes. Right, mate?
Yeah, that's all they are. Magical geezers that just
Be right back.
You could call Theo a magical geezer. Bum bum tish.
Okay, yeah, back in 10. And back.
Welcome back.
Oh, hang on, someone's at the door. Yeah. Sorry, back now. Someone needed to get in the building.
Okay.
Are we waiting on anybody?
I'm here. Share consigs.
I guess they need a minute.
Check it back.
Welcome back. Are we just waiting for...
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm. Vanilla caramel tea. Yeah, and
Sounds good.
vanilla.
Hmm. Fancy tea.
Yes. No beer this time.
Something different for you.
Indeed. By the way, guys, I was thinking we need to go to Thunder Peak and kill us a Stormbird and get its lightning mojo into my gun. Thank you.
Sounds like a plan.
It's too bad the Baron dude left. He could have found its soul.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Well, we're almost definitely going to bump into him again.
True that.
How long does it take from here to the caravan?
Alright, well, now everyone's back. I suppose now... Well, how are you travelling? Do you still have stuff on the ground, or are you just loading everything up into the ship?
If we can load everything up on the ship, sure.
I don't know about the Storm Chaser. Is there anything I'm not? I don't think we'll be able to go on the airship.
You could conceivably stash it on the deck. It might be a little fiddly to get it up and, on and off, but it could be transported on the ship if you want it to be. Equally, if you want to
Okay.
drive, you can. You can probably keep up with the airship because it's pretty nippy.
Yeah, the Storm Chasers should be able to, or the Mustangs should be able to keep up with the airship at least.
Okay, so I think we just assume that everything can travel at the same speed as the airship. So you can probably make that journey in just a couple of days because it's good weather, sunny, good winds, and your engines have a lot of fuel in. So yeah, you make that journey in a couple of days back to the geysers. It's nice and straightforward journey. And yeah, let's just load you back into that map for the sake of being able to see what's
Is a
going on.
couple of days enough time to work minor journey what's that? Novice rune.
To work what, sorry?
A novice rune.
Yeah, for a novice one, yeah. I think
Uh,
novice a couple, like a master takes a week, but
yeah.
you want to have a go at making a rune with that Wendigo blood.
I was thinking that I also have materials with me for two like normal novice runes.
Can you make any better than Novice?
Not at the moment. Can the Saurian feather shop be runed up if it's already charmed? Ah, excellent. Just one moment. Can I work a novice rune with the Wendigo blood, or is it like for some journeyman or master runes? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, actually.
Can the rune be later upgraded?
Yeah. It doesn't like subtract from the cost.
Cost, yeah. But if Theo wanted to upgrade the Wendigo blood rune, he'd need more Wendigo blood for that. Cool.
Yeah, let's leave it there. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so you can add. I don't think we have a rule for a life leech rune,
Yeah, no, we don't.
but
But we have for the mana leeching one.
for the what? Sorry.
The mana leeching one. Or is it the grounding, or what was the name?
There is a rifle that has it. I'm just grabbing the rule. We can just copy it from that.
A life leech
Yeah,
rifle,
that's
you
literally
say?
all that. I've just pretty much copied that from the life leech rifle. So yeah.
That is quite handy.
If you got some extra blood, can you make that for my gun or rifle?
Sure. Yeah.
Well, I'd be totally okay with that.
Then you gotta fork over some dollars.
I got $5 silver with your name on it. We can work this out later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so I'll make this one for the.
Oh, by the way, is Eagle Eye in the camp or is he with us? Cool. Oh yeah, there he is. Jeez.
Bring it in or not. Let's try. I'm trying to see if I can just get the airship to actually arrive at the camp. If not, we'll just have to imaginify it.
Can I say, I'm on my. Can we say we really should like do something before that because they might think we're enemies.
Okay, how do you want
Good
to
point.
approach with the ship?
I was
Or
just
not,
gonna
not
say
with
that.
the ship at all. However you
Well,
like to do it.
I'll say I could just say, Twig is still riding on the ground with the storm chaser, so I could just arrive early and just say, by the way, an airship's coming. It is friendly.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So maybe Twig, guns the engine of the storm chaser and like revs this extra burst of speed out of it as you get near, like when you see the gazers on the horizon. And yes, as she drives forward, comes screeching into the camp, kind of like scares the crap out of everyone because everyone was having just like a nice little sing along by the fire and chilling out, and then this big storm chaser monstrosity comes screeching into camp.
Lucky hippies.
But once everyone calms down, Twig goes, "Oh, nothing to worry about. By the way, there's an airship coming." Um, everyone gets the idea, and the people who had just been loading up their guns in alarm decide that actually everything's okay. So yeah, you guys, I have got the airship in, so I'm gonna assume that you guys able to dismount. I'm not quite sure that's the right word. Disembark from the airship, and you sort of park it.
Yeah.
Kind of just off to the side of the camp there. So, actually, we'll say maybe you pulled it in over here.
Ahoy there, landlubbers.
Okay, so you guys disembark from the ship, and you come to meet Jessie Redhammer, and she's just staring up at this enormous airship that you've like just come back with, and she just looks at you guys and shakes her head.
Check what we found.
I sent you guys out to find a wagon. You go off on your horses, and you come back with a great damn big airship. Do you want to explain what you've been up to?
Airship's better than wagon.
Well, you know
Join
what?
us.
I'm not denying it's better. I'm just I was not expecting this.
Oh my god. Can I do a performance of what happened?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to
An
roll?
epic tale.
Do you want to roll a performance check to see how the tale goes?
These are better than my bar tales.
I think I might have passed it.
Christ. What do you want to do with your 6 stump points?
Dear God.
I'll do stunned silence and sway the crowd.
Okay, fair enough. An hour passes. Twig has, with the help of Dexys, performed an extremely elaborate musical, roping in several members of the camp to kind of like fill in as extras, encouraging them to dance in a line representing the Clicknids.
Oh, and also using my first windpipe.
Oh yeah, no, that's the best bit because like right, so Dexys like is used for the main musical bit, but then you get to about the midpoint where you're kind of like explaining how you took the airship, and like Twig just switches from playing on Dexys's keyboard and suddenly gets out my first windpipe and starts playing it like this elaborate high pitched whistly tune on it. And it kind of has an Irish jig kind of sound to it once it's going, and everyone kind of starts dancing and clapping. Someone gets a fiddle out from somewhere and starts joining in with that. Yeah, so essentially you do an elaborate performance that lasts well over an hour that explains everything that you've done over the last several days. And yeah, at the end of which, not only is everyone in stunned silence, but several of them are exhausted from the energetic dancing and cheering and joining in the singing that they've been doing. So you have literally worn out the crowd. After which, Jessie Redhammer just kind of says, "I only asked."
Us.
Well, so that happened.
That did happen.
Um, Now that you know about what we've been up to and that we brokered a deal with the local Clicknid population, what are your plans? Are you going to stay here in the Shadow Plains?
Yeah, we got loads of supplies for you as well.
Oh yeah, true that.
Yeah, maybe a couple of the less musically inclined members of the crowd have been helping unload supplies. Like maybe the gnomes have like unloaded supplies and then stuff's been being sorted out. So Jesse's overjoyed that you've got supplies because they've been camped out, but maybe food has been running low. You know, with all the problems that they've been having. So she's really grateful for that. She says that those supplies have probably guaranteed that they'd be able to make it back to Prosperity Junction safely. In terms of her intentions, she says what she would like to do. Well, firstly, she fills you in on what they've been doing. Basically, they haven't been idle while you guys have been off on your adventures. They've been harvesting, as much weird aura as they can from kind of like this immediate area. And so they've managed to stock up the wagons with a good amount, not like huge, but like enough weird ore to help the town out and to get it through the immediate crisis. So
Do we tell her about the way in Twig's like long convoluted story? Did she tell her about the fact that we'd secured some trade with the Blue Wing Cartel and that we're sending weird ore to them?
Yeah. That was included in Twig's epic song. However, it was kind of overshadowed by the woodwind solo. So you tell Jessie again about it, and she's overjoyed because that means you guys have essentially doubled the amount of weird ore that you'll be bringing back to the town. So, that's fantastic as far as she's concerned. And then so yeah, she tells you her plan or what she wants to do. Maybe you guys sit around the fire and you discuss it. What Jessie thinks they should do is that most of the expedition should head back with the weird ore to Prosperity Junction because that's what it was for. But this area is so resource rich that she wants to leave a small presence here to kind of like maintain control of the land and like to keep an eye on things, maybe do some more mining. And at that point, she looks a bit worried and she says, but there's a problem. And at that point, she beckons over Cliffjumper, this troll who you guys know, who's kind of been hovering around the camp this time, looking very much like an outsider. And Jessie brings him over and says, this troll came into the camp a couple of days ago. He says he knows you, and he's got some pretty worrying news.
Can I say? Is it about Big Bertha or about a big robot thing?
Big robot thing sounds like it covers it, yes.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, so Cliffjumper steps forward and he goes, "Friends, I'm glad to see you're all right.
Likewise.
We did as you asked. We let the hobgoblins leave from the 100 hoodoos, and my own people. We started to migrate like we discussed. But as we were leaving, we saw something terrible, something no troll has ever seen. Like an enormous metal giant is eating the land and is moving across the shattered plains very quickly. It takes in the earth, it eats the rocks, and they disappear. All it makes is smoke and noise."
I pull out the plans and I show him sort of like briefly.
Yeah, he stabs at it with one enormous blue finger and goes, "Yes, this is the beast. My people are safe. They have fled the shattered plains, but I wanted to warn you so that you knew it was coming, give you time to escape."
Thank you for the warning. Do you know where it is?
Yeah, hang on, I'm gonna pop you on the map again quickly. So, right. So you guys are where the cross is. And Cliffjumper kind of indicates that it's basically heading into the Shattered Plains in this kind of a direction. He tells you that there are some Dustback Troll scouts who are following its movements from a safe distance, but the rest of his people have fled.
Well, I look at my friends here. I think it's pretty safe to say that we are going there and we're going to stop it.
We got some serious firepower now.
Yeah, I don't think our airship will do to stop that thing. It's size of a town, but we can get in there quite easily and probably disable it from inside.
That would be good.
That's probably the way to go.
Mhm.
We could use the airship to just harass it.
Yes, that's true. Oh, Tweak, can you check the blueprints if it has any like defensive capabilities? Does it have turrets or anything?
Yeah, I want to scan the schematic for any weaknesses.
Okay, can you make a mechanical law check to see how well you can kind of understand the design? Yeah.
Yay!
Okay. You've got 6 stunt points for investigation if you want to use them.
Well, I think the obvious one there is going to be elementary.
Yeah, I thought you might say that. Okay, so right, hang on. So, hang on, I'm just gonna... Hopefully this will pop up for you. Did you get a thing there?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so that's kind of like, this is like a rough idea of what you get in your head in terms of what you think you guys are facing based on the blueprints.
Yeah,
You scan, yeah, you're kind of like looking the blueprints, trying to work out sort of how this thing works and looking for any weak points. You do notice it's got quite a lot of defenses. You notice several kind of gun emplacements built on various towers and along the side of this thing. So you think it is probably quite well defended. But what Twig does notice is that the thing mostly runs on enormous caterpillar tracks. And the design for that is, while it's very good for bearing the huge amount of weight they have to push, it does mean that, like, you know, there could be a vulnerability in terms of it relies on all those tracks to be working in order to keep moving, and caterpillar tracks can be quite easily, you know, sabotaged. If something clogged up the mechanics or if something damaged some of the tracks, then the whole thing would essentially be unable to move properly. So you'd only have to really take out a couple of tracks for it to be seriously hampered in terms of its movement.
Can we modify any of the cannonballs with Weirdo?
Totally.
You potentially could, yes.
We
So
could probably
that's-
make like weirdo shots.
like explosive shots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking of. I was already thinking about this before we knew this about the tracks, but if we could like get some of the cannonballs and modify them to encapsulate some Weirdo, then when we fire it and then it hits and explode, it could like explode, and then if we can aim them at the tracks, that could take out the tracks, but it could also help us harry the defenses if we could do enough.
Considering the size of that thing, because our airship is just, if you look at the picture, our airship should be about the size of one of those little buildings there. I don't think it would
More or
do
less,
much
yeah.
damage. And we don't have nearly enough shots for anything else than maybe disabling its movement. And
It was more of a
considering-
thing just to distract, more of a thing to distract the crew.
Yeah.
So we can get inside.
Yeah, that would be actually pretty good.
So what I was thinking is if we get, do you know, like Longhorn and what's her face? Do you know the people we rescued
Graves
from the
and Eagle Eye.
Graves, Eagle Eye,
Yeah,
and all
Graves.
that to crew
Yeah, they could operate the
airship,
airship.
and we can get on board and then disable it, and then woohoo.
Indeed.
Tolly, I owe you a piece of information from your elementary stunt as well.
Okay.
So, in addition to noticing that it has that weakness around the track area and kind of like the armor is thinner at the ground level, there is something else that Twig manages to put together as she's studying these blueprints, and it's nothing that's particularly marked on there. But when she's looking at it, this thing is sort of got several different power sources, and it seems to have ways of drilling and mining, taking in rock and stuff like that. And so it generates a certain amount of power from a number of kind of coal engines and stuff like that. However, there's this very large chamber. Well, not like super large, but like maybe the size of a small house kind of size chamber in the absolute center of the whatever call it, the platform, the structure. And it's not labeled as anything, but Twig kind of looks at how the various bits on the blueprint detailing about how the power is distributed throughout Big Bertha, and she kind of has a eureka moment when she realizes actually there's no way that just burning coal and whatever this thing could mine would be enough to power something of this size. And so she realizes that that central chamber must have some sort of very powerful energy source in it, probably magical or arc forged in nature. And there's all kinds of power, kind of transference, kind of type engines and circuits in that central area. So she would guess that whatever ultimately powers this thing is in that central chamber. Or that's her best guess anyway.
I'd guess it's our best bet to destroy this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we got the plan roughly thought out now.
Yep.
I'll turn to Graves.
Okay, yeah, so Graves and Longhorn have kind of been hovering on the edge of this conversation.
You think you can do it?
So, since you rescued her, Graves has been kind of glum, but for the first time since you kind of met her, she actually has this rather wicked smile on her face, and she says, "Hell yeah, at least I'd like to try."
That's what I thought. So, should we try to modify the one of the cannons?
Or the
Or the ammunition, actually.
yeah. We can certainly try.
But the thing would be that we have to make it so that the weird door doesn't explode while in the cannon when the
Yeah.
shot fires.
How full, and I also love the way we don't call it by what it's really its real name now. We just still call it Weird Al.
What is it now? Is it like
It technically is known as Ethereum,
Ethereum? Okay.
but because I thought, you know, maybe people want a more scientific name, but given no one uses it, Weirdor is perfectly fine.
No, I like the way that like scholars would call it Ethereum, but because we're on the frontier and know it as Weird Al, we just still call it Weird Al.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, you know, when Snickers or anything changes its name. The people who still call it like a marathon and
Yeah.
opal fruits and stuff like that. So we still call it like Weird Al. Yeah, no. How volatile is Weird Al?
Right.
Pretty damn volatile, although it's mostly volatile. I mean, you kind of know this from kind of early on in the first campaign. It tends to explode
From
when exposed to
experience.
magical stuff or extreme heat. So it's volatile under the right conditions. It's not volatile like, oh, I dropped it and it blew up.
Yeah, but
Could I
if it's
potentially fix like small rooms that would detonate it on like maybe command or something?
Could you do an when it, on impact?
Yeah, or an impact.
well, wouldn't the impacting detonate when the shot is fired, while it's still in the barrel?
No, because you do it so when it this is getting weird, but if you could do it magically, you would do it when it detects a decreased deceleration. Do you know, like an abrupt deceleration? I would do it where do you know when it detects an abrupt deceleration, then it would explode. So obviously the cannon firing is a abrupt acceleration, and then when it hits, it would abruptly decelerate, and then the room would trigger. If you could do a room like that in Magic, but whatever. That's what I do.
Sounds pretty advanced rune crafting.
Yeah, that would.
I'm at journey. Yeah, I'm at novice level at the moment.
Talking about runes, could Theo make a rune that if we like craft up just bones of Weirdor or Ethereum bombs, and he slaps a rune on it that he can detonate on command, like from far?
That would be simpler.
Is that possible?
That sounds much more like, yeah, what would fall under Theo's current expertise.
Yeah, because we could use those to disable the tracks, and the ship could just be as a distraction. It doesn't need the explosive shots, because we would be going in from the bottom of the thing anyway.
Maybe we could do. It was more of a. If we're using the ship as a distraction, we want it to be as distracting as possible. Maybe we could just do it so some of them are just old-fashioned, like grenades. They've got a few, like not weirdo, but just a fuse in them. Igniting the cannon ignites the fuse. When it hits, it explodes, just to give a distraction. You know.
Yeah.
So not doing weirdo or anything. Like you have a fuse in it. The gas, the heat and thingy from the whatever.
That doesn't sound half bad.
That sounds like a decent idea.
Yeah.
Just to basically just to try and cause fires. Because if we can cause some fires in anywhere, if we get lucky, we could not blow it up, but cause a serious fire, which means they'd have to divert crew to certain places, which would make it. But I'm just thinking ways to make it easy for us by diverting enemies that Wolfie has.
Yeah, it would be good as a distraction, but we probably have to use the Ethereum charges to get to the. Oh, what were they?
Tracks.
Tracks, yeah.
Oh, and Graves. Don't be too brave in there. Like, if things get too dicey, get out of there, because that ship needs to come back, yo.
In one piece.
She says, hey, I lost one airship to those bastards. I'm not going to lose a second.
Good woman.
No, she's like, she'll do what's necessary to get you guys in there, but she's not going to jeopardize her crew again.
Or do we want to be cool and zip line down from the ship?
Nope.
Well, yeah,
The ship would have to get too close, and it's pretty heavily defended with the towers and stuff. It would probably get blown out of the sky.
Yeah.
We can just go in. If we go in from behind the thing, it will more than likely have a large dust cloud trailing behind it. We can use that as a cover while the airship is distracting them, and we can get in from under it. If we go like, say, between the tracks.
Yeah, that's actually a nice idea.
I mean, something that size cannot be not stirring a huge dust cloud.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, let's get to doing those, making those Ethereum charges. We probably need quite a many.
Well, the Jesse tells you, that they do have those, the various weird ore that they've been stocking up to take back. So she can give you what you need, or they can harvest it from the area if you need, anything in particular. It's more a matter of what you do with it. But you've certainly got access to a large supply right now.
Good,
That
good.
is good.
I think for the thing of that size, we need at least like 10 to 20 charges, and quite big ones at that, to disable one track.
Well, I don't think that many is needed for one track.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Like
also,
a couple maybe per track.
do we have any, like, what I was thinking is, um, yeah, if we can make incendiary charges that we can lay while we're going through,
Yeah, we can sow incendiary charges around.
and then have them on timers or like long wicks or something like that. Too.
We can make some old school Molotov cocktails. Oh,
They are always effective.
well, I don't want to get stuck in there while it's burning, so
Yeah,
anyway.
I was more thinking about for our retreat.
Yeah. So is the plan that we get under it, we disable one track, and then we climb on it and get to the center room and try to overload or disable the energy source?
Upload
I'd
that.
like to see that thing explode like it couldn't be salvaged after that, but if that's not possible, at least disabling the power source would be good.
Mhm. I think if we can manage to overload it, it would cause quite catastrophic failure.
It's going to be so tricky getting in there, though.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I can't imagine they're just going to leave that one room really unguarded.
That's why
yeah.
That's why I think we need the distractions to lure as many of the people away from it. Do you know, like we overload them with things they have to deal with that they
Mhm.
can't defend. Like vital rooms are, undefended as much as possible, just because of the amount of crap that's going on in the thing.
I mean, maybe that would actually be a good application of the airship. Like, because if they're dealing with the airship, they're not going to be dealing with people trying to get underneath.
Yeah, that's exactly.
That's the plan.
That's a good thing. Oh, random question, Wolfie.
Yeah.
I have the arc loader on my rifle, and the arc loader loads my rifle automatically with ammunition from some pocket dimension or whatever what it was. How do I load the? Does the ammunition come from like somewhere the company keeps the things, or do I load them myself into the arc loader's pocket dimension, or how does it work? Cool. Cool. Okay. I think for this mission, Theo, it would be good if you made the rune for my rifle. I think we're gonna need it.
How fast is that thing? 'Cause I'm guessing it's not very fast.
I wouldn't have thought very fast.
What's up?
Oh, so what if we set up a trap near us?
Hmm.
Do you know, like, I asked Cliff Jumper if he knows any places, because obviously I asked him what type of places it's going to mine. Like when it's stopping, where is it mining? Is it like mining like etheric, weird or rich places? Are there any of those near us in sight, like that would be in sight of that I might want to go to?
Oh my god! I just got an idea. It has to have a lot big storage capacity for weird art that it mines. If we could detonate those, it would be destroyed for sure.
Actually, yeah.
That is also a lot of weird or just gone though.
That is true.
Also, that would be a very big explosion.
That would be enormous.
I was more thinking we set up a couple of barrels of weird ore where we think it'd mine. Do you know, like bury them, basically set it as a a mine. So when it goes over Theo could set off the rooms. The weird ore hopefully ignites, damages the tracks, and then the airship can then come in, attack. The explosion is our cover to get in, and then we do our business. Just a thought.
That
Hmm.
sounds a bit less reliable than if we place the charges ourselves on the tracks, because if we bury the uh, barrels, the thing might go a bit like past them, so it wouldn't be ideal explosive area or something.
Prefer
It's
it,
a
yeah.
matter of chance, and if we place them ourselves, it leaves less to chance.
Also, do we prepare some breaching charges that when we enter it, we can like breach through a locked or sealed door or something?
Oh, good idea.
I say that. Well, I'll try and lockpick them first, and if I can't lockpick them, we won't use them because if we use breaching charges, it might give away our position, and then they might send men in to deal with us.
Yeah.
So I'd say we should do that. I'd say we should only do it if we can get through a door. Try other ways first.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we should still start making them because we are probably going to need them at some point.
Yeah.
But of course, silent approach and lockpicking and stuff would be preferable. So let's start making the explosives and breach charges and stuff because we got a lot of work.
Okay, so let me just see if I've got all this. You're making cannonballs with with a weird ore component.
No, we're not.
We that idea.
Yeah, I'd say if we're doing anything, we're just going to put gunpowder in them just so that they blow up and cause a distraction. So,
Okay.
do you know, just like you see in like movies and stuff like that, where they hollow out one of the cannonballs, put gunpowder in it, close it up, and then when that fires, hopefully when it hits, there's a fuse in it that you light. That fuse, once that cannonball gets embedded, the fuse goes down and then blows up, hopefully causing a little bit of damage, but mainly we want it for a distraction.
Yeah.
Just to keep people guessing.
Okay, sorry, is that for being fired by the airship, or is that as like a...
Airship. Yeah.
Airship.
Okay, so the airship's firing those as a distraction, and you're also making incendiaries charges to start fires and some breaching charges for blasting through doors if you have to?
Yes, and then we make weird door charges for the tracks.
Okay, so you're going to plant charges on the tracks, you're not going to shoot it with the airship?
Yeah, because we are going to go near the tracks anyway when we get inside the thing, so we might just as well plant them ourselves.
I actually think it would be better if the airship could fire the charges.
Well, yeah, well, why not? With the explosive cannonballs, it could be doable. It's just that the tracks are really big, so I wonder if that one airship can destroy one track.
Okay, I'm just getting a sense of what you're building, just so I can make a little list of like what materials you've prepared.
Well, other
I've got incendiary charges, breaching charges, and weird ore charges for blowing up the tracks, and some rigged up explosive cannonballs for the airship.
yeah, let's go with that.
Does Twig have any ideas what how much explosives we need to destroy the tracks, and any ideas what we might need that we don't already have thought up? Because he's the engineer here. Or she.
I'm just trying to think, like, I don't think we've missed anything in terms of like ideas for how exactly to do it. In terms of the explosives, we're gonna need an awful lot.
Yeah.
Like easily a ton, if not more.
But aren't tracks quite easily destroyed or disabled at least? The whole track doesn't need to be destroyed if you can just like snap it somewhere. The whole thing comes down.
Are they front wheel or rear wheel drive? Oh, not drive. It's that's important. It is actually important in tanks.
I'm sure it is. I'm not actually sure on how that works.
more of a thing of if it's a front wheel, if the drive cog is at the front, it would be better for the cleanliness and the general wear of the treads. Whereas if it was at the back, the treads would get a little bit more worn a little bit quicker. So if it was at the back, I would say shoot the back because it's going to be a little bit weaker.
Let's say it's at the back because I think Reinhold does output over like cleanliness and maintenance.
Mhm.
They have a very brute force design philosophy.
That is true.
But yeah, in terms of what's it? Oh, don't you just have to break the tracks? It's like that was kind of what Twig found by studying the blueprints earlier. Was yeah, like that's probably what makes the tracks weaker. Is you don't have to blow up the entire track. You just have to damage it sufficiently so stuff isn't turning anymore.
Yeah. For that, we probably don't need as much charges.
I think Twig can probably do the maths for you and work out that you've probably got enough just about to do it by using the gunpowder and cannonballs from the airship and the weird ore supplies that Jesse Redhammer has. Like you've probably got just about enough to do it and to have a few extra charges for blowing some stuff up when you're in there.
Cool. Right.
But probably just about enough. So you're not going to be like swarming with explosives. You'll probably have enough to take out a track and then a few extra bits for yourselves to carry.
Cool. And will we have enough for the breaching charges?
Probably for a couple, yeah.
Cool.
I think what
Let's
we'll
get to
probably
work.
do is you guys obviously we're getting fairly near to the end of the session now. I reckon you guys can be building this between sessions, as it were, and I'll like make a list of the stuff that you managed to make in the downtime.
Sweet. Yeah.
While some of this is going on,
Yes.
what are our prisoners doing?
Your prisoners are still locked up in the cargo hold of the airship.
Oh, yeah.
I want to talk to I want to say Thistle, no Nettle.
Nettle. Yeah, sure. You can certainly do that. Yeah, so you can go fly up to the ship and get down to the cargo hold. Maybe they've just had the meal that the gnome crews give them once a day. Gnomes aren't very happy with the prisoners, given that they were never particularly nice to them when the gnomes were working for them. So yeah, they generally are quite mean, but they do feed them now and then. So yeah, Twig can go down there and find Nettle. She's maybe maybe inspired by what happens to Twig that one time. People have seen fit to imprison Nettle within a large bottle, given that the iron cage is not really a sufficient security measure for containing someone as small as her.
So, would you still be able to hear me through the bottle?
Yeah,
then?
she can hear you through the bottle, but you can hear her swearing and generally grumbling to herself. She's sitting in this bottle on top of a pile of crates that's next to the other prisoners.
I'm sure they put some air holes in it.
Oh yeah, probably, maybe, definitely.
Yeah. So Twig sort of like rocks up and holds out the sunstone and says, "Right, we made a deal. How do I unlock this thing?"
She's sort of like, so she gets up off the bottom of her bowl and rolls her eyes. And she says, well, it's simple, silly. If you Fey folk knew anything about magic, you'd know you just have to, you know. And she kind of like waves her fingers around a little bit. Just do your mojo. Just just connect with the sunstone.
Twig kind of blinks. How do I do, like, I don't have any inherent magic.
She sighs and goes, "Oh, well, I mean, I can do it for you. I'm kind of stuck in this bottle right now because of those darn gnomes. But if I help you with it, you gotta do something for me. I mean, I'm in a bad situation here. Like, I want you to put in a good word with me, for me, with the law, when we get to your silly junction town. Because I'm not going down for too long for this. I only did my bit. So how about I'll give you the magic touch you need to open that thing, but you have to help me out when we get back to Prosperity Junction.
And if we let you out that bottle, you're not just going to immediately fly away.
Where am I gonna go? You've got my whole airship. You've taken us to. Actually, where are we? How long have we been down here? But yeah, I'm not gonna go anywhere.
What's my name?
Okay, well, I'll ask the gnomes to let her out.
Okay, so good old Hayden comes over and gives the bottle a bit of a shake. She goes, "Hey, cut that out!" And then he basically he uncorks the bottle and like just empties her out onto the top of this crate next to you. He goes, "Well, that was rude. Someone needs to teach you ATC folks some manners."
So presumably, we'll have to go outside for this.
Well, yeah, you need the sun, obviously. It's a sunstone. God. Amateurs that I'm working with here.
Just because we're not reliant on the magic like you guys are, doesn't mean we're amateurs.
Yeah, whatever, Little Miss Big Shot. I'm having to teach you something that Silvestri learn when they're kids.
Right, so Swig sort of like flies up out through the deck and lands next to this totem ward.
Okay, cool. Nettle is going to follow you as soon as I grab her token quickly. Okay, so you set the sunstone maybe on top of the ward, so it's like got a good position to kind of pick up the sun. And yeah, you place it down there. The sun shines on it, and as you've sort of seen before, you know, when the sun catches it the right way, it becomes very, very bright and you know, very reflective. And Nettle kind of like rubs her hands together and she kind of clicks her heels together a bit. She murmurs a few little words and her eyes glow with a very bright green light. And then she lays her hands on the sunstone and it starts to make a kind of crackling noise. And it's kind of similar to that time you tried to put it inside the Aether geyser, but it's a much softer noise. It's kind of almost like the sound of popcorn in a microwave, just kind of like that pop, poppity pop pop kind of noise. And you see the surface of the sunstone kind of like almost starts to bubble and blister, like it's liquid. And it kind of ripples and bubbles like that for a couple of minutes while she's touching it, and then it seems to settle back down again into its original shape. And she looks at you with this big grin on her face, and she goes, "There you go, I've got it started."
Right, I'm going to, like, well, not snatch it, but, like, grab it in my hand.
Okay, so yeah, you grab it, and you kind of slap her hand away a bit when you grab it. And she goes, "You're so rude."
Right, so what essentially I'm gonna try and do is like impose, I guess, my own will on the stone.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So when you pick it up, it does feel different this time. It's got this. It's almost like you're picking up a living thing, like you picked up a kitten or a puppy or like some sort of creature. Like you have this weird kind of nurturing feeling towards it that you can't quite explain. And to maybe try and imprint yourself on it, I think you're going to have to kind of look into yourself and try and I don't know, exert your will. So, I mean, how do you want to take control of it? Like, is there anything you want to try doing?
What I'm thinking is I want to sort of hold it as close to like sort of my chest, I guess, as I can without it like completely burning me, but
Yeah.
more like cradling it than actually like trying to press it into myself. So like
Okay, yeah.
almost as if I'm looking after it.
Sure, okay. Okay, so you do that, and maybe it starts to like it's kind of got all those glyphs and spiraling symbols on it, and maybe when you're cradling it, light kind of makes little trails of energy along those kind of glyph markings on it, and as light moves along those glyphs, it makes a slight musical note. It's kind of almost like someone playing a violin or something like that. It has like this sort of high-pitched, soft, continuous note as you're cradling it. And then it goes, there you go, see, it's not that hard, is it?
So this is it. This is now what next?
Well, obviously it's going to take a little time to get cooking. I reckon you've got, a few days before it builds to full power. See, you got to think of it as like a seed, and it's gotta grow in the right conditions till it gets to full power. And then when it gets, fully cooked, then you can direct the power however you want to do it. You use it to power something big or to grow things. Sylvester have used these to start whole forests. Or,
Can't say I've ever been to one of your towns. I'll have to at some point, I guess. But
yeah, you hold on to that, keep it close. In a few days, it should be ready to pop. And then, well, the sky's the limit, really. What can you do with a whole load of natural magic? Use it for yourself, use it for your friends.
Make Umber lush with life again.
the term "the sky's the limit" seemed to resonate, and Twig just sort of like gazes upwards. Okay, well, it seems like you've held up your end of the deal for now. You'll probably still have to go back into the brig. Unless, of course, you want to help us make ammunition.
Okay, her eyes kind of get a little wide with fear. She goes, ammunition?
You
What are
know.
you up
What are you
to?
up?
Oh, just taking down this thing, and like Twig pulls out the plans to Big Bertha.
And Nettle just kind of like looks at it for a moment, and then she just bursts out laughing. Like, you think you're going to take the mining platform down? Have you an idea how big that thing is? Have you an idea how many guns they put on that thing?
Twig just sort of like shrugs and says, "Yeah."
You guys are crazy. Like, not good crazy, but just bad crazy.
We've already got a plan.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you've got a plan, I'm sure everything's gonna go fine. No big burning death for you. Yeah, you guys can just put me back in the brig. I don't want anything to do with your plan. Sounds like
If you were to help us, that would help your case with the ATC.
Things are impossible until you do it.
How much help are we talking here?
Depends how helpful you want to be. If you're if you're gonna help us make ammunition, that's always gonna be helpful. If you want to come into battle with us, or you can, help Eagle Eye and oh god, and Graves, it's Longhorn Graves that are doing that particular part of the plan. Yeah, you can help Longhorn and Graves pilot the ship. Like I said, it depends how helpful you want to be.
Okay, do you want to make a communication persuasion roll for me? See how much you can talk her into this.
She'll be coming with us to the attack.
Okay, so she kind of looks at you dubiously and goes, "Okay, if you swear that you will help me out when all this is over, then I guess I can help you out now. But I'm out of here at the first sign of trouble. I am not gonna get stomped by Big Bertha."
So he sort of hums for her and says, that sounds reasonable. Okay. And sticks her hand out.
Okay, she shakes your hand and says, "So, where do we start?"
Right, so let's go back to the group.
Okay.
I remember. Can I attach that? Can I show everyone the true thingy of the staff I have now? Roughly.
Yeah, sure.
Do I know?
Basically, with the now that we've got time to rest from the thing, Black Wolf brings out her staff and lays it on the ground, and brings out the sword and the scabbard and lays that on the ground and next to it, and recites an incantation, and all everyone sees is just a black mist covering the weapon of the two things,
Take a few steps back.
and you see that the staff or the weapon is reborn as a staff with a blade on it that is basically very cool and a death staff thing.
Ooh. What's that all about?
You'll see.
Huh.
Okay, so maybe yeah. Black Wolf finishes that ritual and has sort of forged the pieces of the weapon together into the stuff, and maybe there's just for a moment, just at the edge of everyone's hearing, you can just maybe hear some sort of cackling noise in the distance. But when you turn around, nobody's there. This is just like slightly odd feeling left in the air after Black Wolf's completed her ritual.
I have a bad feeling about this.
No, Garrick, you're fine. Unless you
Too much
die.
Mako.
And then, maybe not.
Okay, so I think we're coming towards the end of the session. Is there anything else anyone want to set into motion as part of preparations for next time? I've got your various lists of explosives making.
I can't think of anything.
I mean, I think you guys sound like you've got a fairly good plan you want to try and execute, so that's good.
Yeah. Oh, I'll talk to Graves.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Listen, after this whole thing is over, I was thinking that I need to recruit some crew to that airship. If you'd be interested, you and your folks.
Yeah, she smiles and she said, "Yeah, Of course we'd be interested. I mean, my whole
But
life's about I've been about sailing and fighting in the sky. Like if you're going to give me a chance to do that again, then I'm there.
cool. The thing is that you would not be a captain at that point anymore. You'd be first mate or something, if that's okay with you.
She kind of like doesn't look as thrilled about that, and she kind of like weighs it up for a bit. But she's like, well, I'll take what I can get. It's better than being
Great.
stuck down here on the ground.
Indeed.
So yeah, she'll shake your hand on that and then say, yeah, she'll be someone you can rely on.
Great. Glad to have you.
Okay, so I think we'll round things off there. Like you guys are more or less prepared, and like I say, I'll make a list of how your preparations go, kind of in the downtime, and then you can start the next session kind of ready to go. I will also say that given your success taking out the Hive Queen and Calavera, and then getting all the Clickner back safely, I'm happy to say that you guys can now level up to level 7
Yeah.
in preparation for whatever happens next.
Awesome.
So I will put together your list of equipment in preparation for your attack, and you guys can sort out what you need to do for your leveling. As usual, any questions like about leveling or whatever with your characters, just send me a message on Discord and we'll work it out. Yeah, thanks very much, guys. Glad to know that you've got some good battle plans. And yeah, I'll end the stream there and probably head off and have some dinner, to be honest. But
Yeah.
thanks for a good session. There's a lot of good stuff there.
Thanks for the night.
Yep.
It was fun.
It was fun.
Thanks, Wolfie.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Wolfie.
And I guess also if there's any other, you're like, oh damn, I wanted to prepare this, then just message me about that as well. Like
Theo,
you guys,
I want my rune.
I'll let you guys decide that amongst yourselves.
You do enough damage already.
No, never enough.